Okay, now we're ready to begin creating our clay creature. I'm super excited about this project. You guys spent all that time on your profile coming up with a personality for your creature, just like in the animated movies after watching, you know, a Nemo trailer and just checking out the way the artist works to make the creature physically look like the personality that the creature exhibits. So we're going to go ahead and work on making these creatures that we've created on paper into a three-dimensional form. So after you've kneaded and wedged your clay, you're going to go ahead and start with a ball of clay that's about the size of a little bit smaller than a baseball. Much bigger is too big, and we want it to be a good size. So you can start smaller, but don't make it too small. So we're going to start by making a pinch pot. And a pinch pot is pretty basic clay making technique. It's not too hard. You're going to start by taking your thumbs and by pushing them down into your clay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn and push my clay, just like that. Okay, I'm pushing down into my clay with my fingers, with my thumbs, and as I'm pushing with my thumbs, I'm pulling up with my fingers on the outside. Now your clay creature may be long and skinny, it may be short and wider. You can pick that for yourself. You've determined how you want your clay creature to look. So I've gone ahead and I've made this little pinch pot. Now I have a little tear, so I'm going to repair that with a little bit of my slip and my finger, and I'm supporting it on the inside with this hand, and I'm smoothing it out on the other side. So that's going to get the basic body of my creature. Now my creature could stand like this pretty easily, and I can start to build off on him and add to him. Now if I want him to be tall and thinner, I can begin to kind of manipulate this to look like what I wanted my creature to look like. I could even make two pinch pots and attach them together, which is another way to make my creature bigger. Sometimes if I want my creature to get thinner, I could cut out some clay in kind of like a V-type shape, and I could slip and score it together to make it even thinner. I'm going to actually cut out some more even. Slipping and scoring is how you attach two pieces of clay together. So for instance, if you're going to attach two pieces of clay like this, they have some surface area to touch and grip and hold together. If you're going to attach two pieces of clay that look like this together, they all of a sudden have a lot more places or surface area that can touch and grab and lock. That's what we're looking to do with slipping and scoring. Create more grooves to get something to more securely attach and grab together. So I'm going to go ahead on this. I'm going to cut some marks in my clay, like that. Then I'm going to take some of my muddy slip, which is like a glue or an adhesive, and I'm going to add it to my joint. Then I can go ahead and fold this over and stick it real good, smooth it out with my finger, and now I've got something that's changing shape a little bit for me. And I can manipulate it and change it even more. So I've got something that's a little bit taller, and I could cut more out of it if I want to. My clay wall should never be more than a ½ inch thick, so I'm looking around it and it's pretty good. I can even use my carving wire tool to carve out some of the inside if I think it's too thick. I just want to make sure I don't puncture it and go through. Now I can go ahead and start making my clay creature who he is, giving him his personality. Anytime I add clay onto my project, like an eyeball for instance, I need to slip and score it on. So I'm making marks on both surfaces that are going to be attached. So I can go ahead and take the slip and the score to both places I've scored. The marks are called the scoring, and I can attach it. Now if I need to make sure I don't add things on that are too thick, or I end up having an explosion. Okay, that's not what I want. So I can go ahead, I can add eyes, I can add a mouth. This is additive, an additive process where I've added an eyeball to my clay. I can also subtract. So I could go ahead and carve in something that might make a mouth for my creature. I can subtract clay, and then I can smooth out, and that's called the subtractive method. Additive subtractive. I'd like you to experiment with both of them. You can make texture in your clay by using all different kinds of clay tools that I have. You can even bring some from home, which would be really cool to add to our collection. So texture making is really important. You can do some really cool things as you make your creature. When you do add things to your creature, you want to make sure that you don't add things that are going to break real easily. Like if I wanted to add a tentacle and I added something like that, chances are that's going to break. It's already starting to crack. However, if I wanted to make a tentacle thin and I wanted to create it in such a way that it wrapped around again and touched my project, now this had already broken in spots, but I could go ahead and create something a little bit sturdier if it comes back and connects to my piece again. So if I wanted to do some kind of tentacle that came back around and connected like that, all of a sudden it's a lot more secure. So keep that in mind. You don't want things going way off your project away from it because they are very fragile and can be broken off. So if you're doing a wing, your wing could bend around and come back to your project, or a tongue, it could come back into itself. You can do arms, legs, anything on your creature that you would like to do. You can even carve through your creature all the way if you would like to. If you want, for some reason, to have some kind of, I don't know, an ear that goes all the way through, I just went ahead and carved right into it. I can take my water, my slip, and I can go ahead and make that go all the way through, which is fine. At the end of your project, you are definitely going to want to get your initials somewhere on it, maybe on the back. So I'm just carving in my initials. I'm using a knife right now. There's other tools that you can do, but something that lets us know that this is your project that you're making. So your little clay creature I expect to be super, super interesting and creative. It can have all kinds of things coming off of it as long as they're securely attached. Give it hats, eyeglasses, a mustache, anything that you want that will help make it your own and give it the personality that you originally thought of. So that is all I have to say right now. We can go ahead and get started.